Hi, I'm Yappo, and with me today is Kit.
Hello.
And this is Mad Max, the video game. Based on the movie, Fury Road, mostly. It's got a few references to some of the other Mad Max games, but...
Yes, I am super excited. The game looks awesome. And if it's anything like the movies, I'm sure it'll be just as good.
So, this game is actually rated out really, really well. It's got something like a 90% positive rating on Steam. It's got, I think even recently, it's got that sort of rating. And everybody really loves it, except for the fact that it's super, super repetitive if you're not doing the story.
Yeah, that seems to be the case with a lot of AAA games these days. It's the main story is really rock solid, but if you do any of the side quests or anything like that, you always get a lot of repetition.
Well, the side quests themselves aren't bad, and as you can see, the graphics and stuff are all really good. Like, this is a cutscene, obviously, but the game actually does look a lot like this, which you'll see
excellent.
Shortly as we get into it, but... No, it's a really, really visually stunning game considering it takes place in basically a giant desert.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to do. The last game I think that I saw take place in a desert was Raid. So let's hope it was a little bit better than that.
But if you'll notice, we've got the classic Mad Max jacket on from Road Warrior.
Straight down to the leg brace and everything. Like, this guy looks full on Road Warrior Mad Max.
Yeah, we've got the Interceptor V8 at this point. So we know we're after one. It's kind of the continuity of the Mad Max universe has always been a little spotty. So
you can never really tell what you're getting into, and it's almost like the time between the first and second movie, we don't know what happened there.
Also, check out that codpiece.
Phenomenal. That looks like some important Rhino one.
Also, every time I hear that dude's name, I giggle because I'm 5, and come on, you really named the guy Scrotus?
Yeah. And you would assume that he would have some sort of, like, truck nuts there to really seal it off. But no dice.
I feel like that's a grave oversight. The lack of truck nuts.
I think we need to get on with the developers here on this one. I think they really overlooked it.
Also, I feel like the movies usually did a better job of this whole, like, Max just got the shit beat out of him. Let's actually have him act like he just got the shit beat out of him instead of... Oh wait, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna run and sprint onto this car that's driving away in the middle of the desert. No shirt.
And that's something that, you know, when you're watching the movies and he gets shot in the leg and then he gets his arm ran over, like, it looks, those things aren't moving. It looks like he's got a dummy arm and dummy leg. This one, no problem.
Also, a guy with a chainsaw embedded in his head, he's fine. He can
No
just
problem.
he can just throw you off the roof of his moving car. In BD.
That's that futuristic survival of the fittest right there.
I did leave all this part in because it's really, I feel like they really tried to go for the whole movie aesthetic that you kind of play through.
Yeah.
And I think it's really well done, personally.
I think so as well. This is a fairly good hook as far as getting into the game.
So, just to recap, if you weren't paying attention and we talked over it too much, we were trying to find the Plains of Silence, we got hijacked by the Scrotus dude, and he's got our car now. So all we've got is the dog that tried to maul us, who is also injured. And we're just hanging out here in the desert.
Now, this part confuses me a little bit because, you know, in the movie he did have the dog, but this dog just tries to maul him, and now it seems like they're best friends.
Well, this dog also just got kicked off a moving car by its previous owner, literally, so...
Yeah, that's fair.
It's probably not the best judge of character. So this is actual gameplay. This is what the game looks like when you're just running around.
And that's not bad at all. I mean, so far graphically, like, the scenery in and of itself, like you can see there in the background, it's nice. You know, it's got a good view distance, and they really paid attention to all of the detail, even that far back.
So the other thing is, we're on a ship right now, clearly. You saw the coral on the way by. It's the first place we start actually used to be the ocean. Whatever it was that this apocalypse has dried the ocean up bad enough that the ship is now stranded here and we're running past all these coral heads. And I forget how to play this game for the first, 5 minutes, so if you'll excuse me being dumb. I played it, all the way through, but it was, a year ago, so I was like, oh, I should really, do this and get back into it, and it did not come back as quickly as I thought it would.
But the controls, I mean, it looks like it's smooth enough. It doesn't have that weird, Resident Evil style movement. It looks pretty free-flowing.
Yeah, once you remember how it kind of works, it all goes really well. It's well laid out on the controller and stuff. I would recommend using a controller because, third-person action game, always use a controller.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
No, I just really enjoy this game, so I was hoping to share it with everyone. And we've met Chumbucket now.
That's right.
Chumbucket, just straight out of the Borderlands universe, clearly. This guy is nuts.
If you've seen Fury Road, he is a Blackfinger.
I came here for the part.
Unfortunately.
I can make it work again. And Dinky D too.
There's a shout out to Dinky D's.
Which, do you want to fill us in on Dinky D's? Because apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, Dinky D's, Australian dog food. It is, the term fair dinkum comes to mind, and it gets shortened down to fair dinky and Dinky D's. It's spot on.
So I thought I could use that as a zip line, but apparently I can't. I was disappointed.
Dog's bleeding out.
I can fix it, but I do my best work in my sanctum.
Push the car.
I need wire to fix my buggy. Then I can show you where they took the black on black.
Where do I find wire?
So for some reason, the black on black is what they're calling the Interceptor. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if they just they should have the rights to it since the studio that made the movie made it. I don't know if he just doesn't know to call it that or what, but it kind of... Oh, by the way, you like the Dinky D dog food. Here you go.
Oh, yeah. That is just big shout-outs right there.
Canned food.
I also like that, it's a tutorial mission and all this other stuff, and I get confused as to which way to go again, because I'm a bad... But,
well, you never know, because there's always sometimes the developers hide just that one really decent starting item at the beginning of the game during the tutorial, because everybody expects to go straight to the quest, where the quest is.
Well, this is still, very much tutorial. I do like, too, that he's got, apparently, this car that's completely ready to go, except he just doesn't have enough wire for it. So, I will probably try and not be looting a whole lot on camera, because it's slow, and the currency in this game is called scrap, and it's earned very, very slowly. So I will probably have to go grind, and I will do that off camera because that's the biggest complaint with this game. And buttons. So the nice part is, with combat, you can kind of do the whole Indiana Jones thing and be like, just fuck it, and smash the shotgun button and just shoot people, whoever's closest to you. I don't really want to actually do combat, I'll just shoot this guy.
That works. And it looks like it's got that kind of Assassin's Creed, Arkham-style combat, which I actually enjoy.
It works fairly well. There, like I'm sure most of the other games, will eventually see stronger enemies and enemies that you can't parry or think that you have to like perfect parry to actually do anything to, but it's pretty good. And it's trying to teach me how to do a heavy strike after I obliterate everyone. Because
Nope.
Sorry, go ahead.
The one thing you really don't want to run into in a game like this, though, is hoping, you hope that you have those harder enemies that you can't parry, because if you don't, then it turns into that whole parry, riposte gameplay that's just completely uninteresting.
So, there's a bunch of different like scavenging locations hidden around. They're usually old broken down things or whatever. And this is one of them, so I was going to go ahead and show what it's like to clear a scavenging location and how little resources you actually get for it. Because I earned 6 scrap.
That is not a lot. What's the normal like pricing for your base items?
So I know I went and looked at the last one, and I hadn't upgraded to the. Eventually, we get a car, and we get to buy things to upgrade it. Spoilers. It's Mad Max. We have a fancy car, but I went to upgrade the engine to like the best option, and it was 4,100 scrap to do that.
Let's hope that ramps up then, because I can't imagine getting 6 scrap at a time. 4,000 would be.
It really doesn't for like looting places.
Oh, jeez.
Which is, like I said, the biggest complaint people have with this game is that, who's that creepy guy? He's just walking off.
Bit of foreshadowing right there.
Which, like I say, is the big complaint with this game, is like if you want to do all this stuff, you either have to put a lot of hours in after you get like certain things that will just give you scrap every so often, or just spend so much time getting, 5 scrap at a time.
That is a grind right there.
Which is why I thought it would be great for this sort of thing, is because we can go hit the high points, and I can go off camera and get all the cool stuff, and just bring it back, and we can, watch it and not have to deal with that as a group.
Huh? Praise be! Praise be!
It looks like he's got the pup fixed.
No, it's still leaking out, but we're going to go to his sanctuary, and he's supposedly going to be able to fix him in a sanctuary.
This way!
And you can't sprint with the dog. I tried. Apparently it's too heavy. So no speed running here.
That's a shame.
I'm kind of curious as to what a speed run of this game would actually look like. So Kit is a lot more into speed running than doing this whole, slow sort of thing.
Yes.
And I always have trouble in getting on the wrong side of the car because it's Australia and everything's right-hand drive.
Appropriate. Now, the one thing I will say is this is clearly differing from all of the movies. If you'll notice, the car has not yet blown up or flipped over into a ditch.
Give it time, because it drives really arcadey and I drive really stupid.
That makes a lot more sense, because right now, with it just being on the road, it is not to the movie at all.
It's and again, this is the tutorial area. This is kind of this is how you play the game. We're still going over mechanics, all that other stuff. But I think the driving is actually pretty good. Say it's fairly arcadey. It's not super punishing if you mess up, and it just makes it in general enjoyable to do, which I think is kind of the whole point of a Mad Max game, is to drive around in your bomb-ass car.
Obviously.
See, this is where the thick brow squat cut. Butchers. Infidels. Oh, yeah, look. There. Scabrous Scrotus is their king. Yeah, he's a big boss man from the gas towers.
Now, did they not kill Scrotus in the intro? Did I just completely miss that?
Well, he put a chainsaw on his head.
I don't see the land.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting my car.
But he's just...
Wait, please. An idea.
He's just alright after that, I suppose.
Listen.
I mean,
You're black on black.
would that kill you? I feel like it's just kind of a scratch sort of thing.
Now I can build you a car.
I mean, there's only like blood spurting out every which direction.
No need for a brain in the future. That is out the door.
How tough, how fast?
Very faster than
I also like just how many spark plugs Chumbucket has on his necklace and like belt and stuff.
Come with me. We mustn't be seen. Huh?
And like
You never know when you need one, so that's just the full play.
he's got him as like earrings and stuff too, which I don't know if anybody else has noticed yet, but it's just ridiculous. It's like spark plugs are apparently the fashion accessory.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about your daily wear, but I always have, anytime I'm going to some sort of mechanic, I always like to wear that so I can fit in.
But yeah, I love, we'll see the map later eventually, but if you saw the giant pile of smoke and fire, that's actually, yeah, right there at the top of the screen. It's all the way across the map, and they bothered to render it here.
Over there.
And
That's pretty impressive.
you can see it from all over the map, basically, in this one spot, but it's in one of the very corners.
It doesn't get any lower than this.
I mean, as far as it goes, it doesn't seem like it's, like, graphically, it doesn't seem like it has a lot of load time or anything like that. It looks like it's got pretty smooth transitioning for as far as that's rendering out with everything going.
Yeah, it does pretty well for itself, and I don't know if it's just that I have the right combination of hardware, but I've never really had any trouble with it rendering anything, so I have no complaints on that front. And considering it came out 2 years ago now, I think it's doing pretty good.
It was impressive.
The other issue is until we have a bunch of cool stuff, I have to get water anytime I see it, and get ammo anytime I see it, and get gas anytime I see it, because this game is pretty heavy on the resource management consumption sort of thing. Because turns out your cars have to have gas, and if you don't have gas, you are in trouble.
Well, that makes sense. I do like that, though. I like that aspect of actually surviving, you know, the water, the gas, everything like that. Some games just completely skip over all that, let you do whatever you want, like you drive wherever. So I almost appreciate it to the point where, you know, you actually have to gather those resources.
So here's our new ride.
This ain't a car. It's just a mess of parts.
Looks great, doesn't it?
Seems a little bare. I'll make it.
She wills herself upon this world. Look!
Luckily, Chum's got a plan.
See? Here. Divine meets drive shaft and a symbiosis of faith.
Middle of the desert, freezing cold. You can see the breath there.
I got a classic whammy turbo hot dog. Huh? Hell yeah! Bulletproof and torture tested. Aesthetically upgraded.
Well, I mean, I was going to say it could be night, but there's clearly sunlight coming in through here, so I don't know why they decided it was suddenly cold in here.
And you'll note it does have the Australian continent shining through the sunlight.
Show me where it is.
Does it really?
It does.
No time like the present.
Oh, it does. Oh, wow.
I must go.
I actually never noticed that before.
Just big shout-outs.
I like touches like that. Alright, so this is our new car. This is going to be our go-to, basically, for the rest of the game.
Strange, where the chariots of old went to die. A place I call.
See how she handled it. I mean, as far as bullet resistance, you're looking at 0, but
So
it's got to be quick and fuel efficient.
Yeah, there's not a lot of weight on the body right now, so it's pretty lively in the corners. But you'll notice the roads aren't really roads; they're kind of just paths in the sand.
We're low on fuel. Unfortunately,
I was wrong on the fuel efficiency, apparently.
the blessings of gasoline.
Well, turns out Chum didn't have a lot just laying around. He filled the buggy up first, so we gotta go find some gasoline.
I really appreciate that it's called as Magnum Opus as well.
It's kind of
Over there.
Chum's got this whole like religious vibe, and he calls you saint and stuff, and you're part of the prophecy of the Black Fingers, I guess. A bit of it's left to the reader to figure out, but yeah, gotta get that scrap. All 2 pieces?
2 of it.
Yeah,
that's brilliant right there.
But yeah, so this is what a fair portion of this game looks like if you are trying to play it like all the way through and get all the upgrades and stuff, is doing stuff like this.
I do appreciate the fact that it tells you when you've looted everything. Because when I play, I'm one of those guys that's completely anal, like checking cracks and like mashing the activate button along the walls to see if I've missed anything.
That is, for as much grindiness as it has a lot of really good quality of life features. Every location, it tells you what all is there to collect. It tells you when you've collected everything. And it takes it off your map once you've collected everything.
And that's pretty nice.
We can actually buy more combat abilities as we level up. So it will get slightly more interesting eventually than just light punches with the occasional heavy punch thrown in.
14 scrap there, that's fun.
Yeah, that's the money right there. Also, destroying cars gets you scrap, so if we can find cars out and about on the road, we can destroy them and collect scrap from those cars.
Some of that's some of the one.
And I forgot where the gas fill was.
Pillar up, all the way to the brim.
Because, yeah. So it's been a while, so, gotta start off easing into it.
Yeah, and there is no hose there at all. He is just going straight for the four, hoping that he doesn't miss.
But let's bring an extra for refueling.
For as precious as a commodity, I feel like he should be a little bit more careful.
I also feel like he's just like, oh, this is an empty jerry can, just throw it in the sand. Like,
Wait here.
you got lots of space in like the passenger area, just like take one with you. If you find extra gas, you can just take it.
You gotta have something to put it in.
So the other mechanic is you can store one extra fuel can in your car, and there's like a special spot in the back to store one extra fuel can. That's it.
Right there behind Chum.
Yep, which for some reason inexplicably stays perfectly still as I'm doing a bunch of stupid driving.
Got a really solid clamp there at the bottom.
I was thinking just a big magnet, just sucks up to it, but
I mean, if it works, it works. Chum has got this all planned out, really.
yeah, I mean he's really at least one or two steps ahead of us at this point.
Now, I noticed Chum did not help at all during the fight. Is he just there for the show? Is he just hanging out?
He's there for the car. Like I say, he's our supreme mechanic.
So let's make this one count.
So there will be a lot of gates in and around the world, and most of them we can blow up. Some of them we can drive our car through. There'll be a few other ways to get through them. Almost all of them we can just explode.
Exaltation just cracked open.
It's like a massive waste of gas.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, oh my god, we're out of gas. We gotta find more. Well, we found extra, so let's just blow a whole can up.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a good ram bar in the front of the car would be a little bit more effective.
Fiends that tend this catacomb don't like strangers.
So this is the graveyard. This is where cars go to die. It also has giant exploding mall things on the road. For reasons unbeknownst to me. It seems like it would just, cause more additions to the graveyard, but
And you gotta believe that they're using gasoline for that as well.
you would think. I mean, I don't know how else they're gonna, if they got like pitch or something somewhere, but
More traps ahead.
This is not speedrun friendly. Like, just where they have these weird chicanes that you have to go dodging through here.
yeah, and at this point you don't have any upgrades, so you can't like just max out your handling, acceleration, and just do stupid things. Oh yeah, and they explode if you get too close to them or if you touch them. So, just to add that extra element of difficulty. Also, I mean, we came in up there. I feel like we totally could have just put a ramp in there and just
Flat out
shortcut it.
Dukes of Hazzard style.
That would have been my vote, but apparently we got to take in the ambiance of this area.
Stop it! Go!
Michael Bay clearly designed this entire area.
Defense Systems by Michael Bay.
It's his second calling, really.
For when you need to keep people out, but also make it look awesome.
And you'll note there was no turning around to look at those explosions. That is, in fact, what cool guys do.
No, I mean, I don't know how many times Mad Max just walks away from explosions in the films, but it's a lot. I'm pretty sure
It's often.
I'm pretty sure it's at least double digits.
Oh yeah, he has no qualms.
I'm pretty sure he causes most of them as well.
Yeah, there's a good 80-20 split, I would say.
So we got to go get a body for our car, so it actually, looks like a car.
From the amount of scrap, like trucks and things that we've passed, I don't know the quality of the material on those, but I feel like those would be usable.
Apparently, it's not right for the frame we've got. So
it's not in his vision.
This has got to be just right. Ooh, we got 19 scrap on that one. We're up to 50.
Yeah, maybe I could sit down this.
So this is why I was trying to zipline earlier.
Yeah, here's the zipline that we're looking for.
I also like that you just use your loaded shotgun to slide down the zipline.
No problems there. Gun safety, not a thing here.
And, looting corpses. We don't even comment on, like, oh, there's a dead guy here. No, his flashlight still works.
Priorities. You've got to be able to see. Does this game have the normal day and night cycle? Like, if you waited a little bit, would this still be dark? Just because it's a plot trigger?
It does have a normal day and night cycle. But yeah, this area is pretty well set in stone as to what it looks like. It also has storm cycles, so you can have like giant desert storms roll through, or just like little dust devils.
I can imagine those are fun to drive through.
The dust devils are kind of fun because they don't do much. The giant storms can actually destroy your vehicle and kill you. But it does give you a warning. It's like, hey, this giant storm's rolling through, you should seek shelter. And so if you go to a base, you can get away with it. So we gotta pick our car. Whatever body we want.
Wild Hunt.
Yeah, their names are a little ridiculous, like over-the-top metal for me, but...
Die Rolla.
So is there one you're partial to here, Kit?
You know, I don't really have a partial. I like the first one. I feel like that one was more of a solid car.
The Furnace?
Yeah. As far as cars go, that one takes you back. Looks almost like the Black. It's got the hood cut out. I mean, it's everything a car needs. Now, I don't know it will fit on the body, given the frame, but...
Chum's a wizard. He'll make it work, alright?
Appreciate it, Chum.
So no, I think we're going to vote on which body we want to use and maybe some other stuff. So we will see. And until next time.